hold on to the formula, where previously his expenses with that debt were here and his income was here, right? Well, when we remove that $300,000, those expenses are gone, and now his expenses go down here as compared with his income. The difference in between will be a payment plan that they will set him up for the next 60 months, 5 years. Well, what could separate the difference between a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13? $100 too much in income or $100 too little in expenses. So does that mean that anybody under $45,000 a year is a slam dunk? Absolutely not. Had a client who went from $2,500 a month as a mortgage payment, qualified for Chapter 7, came to see me, did a consultation with me, I explained to him, went to see the bankruptcy attorney told him, yep, you qualify. Took him through the means test. All right, so he doesn't do anything, like most people. Sticks his head in the sand, does nothing. Calls me up 3 months later and says, okay, Todd, we're ready to proceed forward with your services. Okay, and he says, I got to give you a new address because we moved. And I said, whoa, what do you mean you moved? He says, well, you know, my wife is at home with the kids every day. She couldn't take all these bill collectors calling every day, so we had to get the heck out of there. Get the heck out of where? Our house. We're renting a house now. And I said, oh my goodness, can you move back into that house? He says, no. I said, how much is the rent? $1,200. I said, are you sure you can't move back into that house? Oh no, you know, we did the cash for keys thing with Wells Fargo. And I said, let me tell you what, you don't qualify for bankruptcy anymore because now your housing allowance, it's been more than 2 months, is past that for bankruptcy. We're going to use your new cost of housing as compared with the other one. You now will be in a payment plan for the next 60 months. Now, if you go to a bankruptcy attorney, whatever it is you bring them, they have to take you as you bring it. In other words, they do not have the ability to counsel you on how bankruptcy works and how to manipulate your financials to be able to qualify for a bankruptcy. Now, if anybody comes to this ungodly conclusion that you actually need to file bankruptcy, and make no mistake, it's interesting to me that when people begin missing mortgage payments, they come to grips and make peace with foreclosure. For whatever reason, that becomes acceptable. But when I start talking to them about bankruptcy, oh my goodness, they want to jump out the window. Right? Okay, so tell you what, if somebody says to me, okay, if I go through this thing, Todd, how long will it take to recover? Well, all they're really asking is, what are the underwriting guidelines that will enable me to qualify for financing in the future? Well, today, Freddie and Fannie are doing the majority of the loans. Guess what? If I file a bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I can qualify for financing in 36 months. If I go through a full-blown foreclosure, as in sit in the house until they escort me to the curb, it'll take me 5 to 7 years to get mortgage financing. So, hey, go to the bankruptcy attorney and have them say, well, if you're going to file bankruptcy, you might as well just let the house go into foreclosure. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because now I got both of them on there, and it's going to take me even longer to recover. Wouldn't it make more sense to do the bankruptcy, short sale the house, and be able to be back in another house in 3 years? Instead of having the preponderance of all this negative stuff, not to mention the fact that, don't forget, once you get past the occurrence, 36 months, 60 months, whatever it is, now the next issue is, and must have a credit score of, and must have a debt-to-income ratio of. Do you think it's going to be a little tougher to overcome foreclosure and bankruptcy? So the notion of making a strategic plan is lost on most people, and they all say, I don't care if I'm ever a homeowner. How many people have heard people say that? Okay? But you know, the day it's over, that's the next thing that comes to their mind. How do I get back on with my life? Right? So they need to be